CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the sharp-dressed man and the big story breaker, Robert Butler, on SportsScope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thank you.
Welcome to SportsScope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to SportsScope. I'm your host, Robert Butler. Got Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez backstage here. We're gonna talk about the obviously Minnesota-Dallas series, go over the finals, pick the finals, talk a little Bill Walton. I know Carlos posts some things about the great basketball announcer personality. Of course, he's a great player, college player, one of the greatest college players of all time. I played some backs about that on Tuesday. Anyways, talk about that. The Bears draw Hard Knocks. What does that do for Caleb Williams? How much more pressure is added on them? And more. Stand by. We'll take our first and only break, and I'll be back here with the Mad New Yorker here in 49 seconds here on SportsScope. Hello, SportsScope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and SportsScope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Alrighty then. And we'll bring in the Mad New Yorker. Hey, man, how you doing tonight?
How's it going, boss? How's it going? Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I love me some Friday. Yes, the Bears will be on Hard Knocks there.
They've been giving us some Hard Knocks for since the 50s, man. Now they're going to put it on TV.
The Titans have been here forever. They still ain't got on Hard Knocks. Dallas has been on Hard Knocks for 2 years, or twice. But the Titans simply have not. They would have been eligible. But first, what do you think about that Minnesota? I'm a little disappointed Minnesota couldn't make that more of a series. What's up with this level of play by the Mavericks? I mean, they are playing at a really high level right now, man.
I mean, Robert, it's not rocket science, right? It's like you have to double Luka. Like, no matter what you do, you got to double him.
I know, right?
And because he's going to attack you inside, or he's going to shoot the outside shot. So
they're doubling him at half court.
Right. So that leaves Kyrie to go one-on-one versus anybody. Kyrie can beat anybody. Like he can beat anybody. 90% of the NBA he can beat like off the dribble. Yeah. So he's making points, and he don't even have to score that much either, because even though Luka gets double,
he's averaging about 12, 14. I know he had 36 last night, but Kyrie's not really dominating the playoffs.
Right. But the fact of the matter is that it's a confidence, right? Your defense goes in there like we're gonna make a stop, we're gonna control the clock, and nope. Like Luka's gonna take the ball up the court, he's gonna pass it twice, he's gonna make a couple moves. If he has a shot, he'll take it. If he doesn't, he'll give it off to Kyrie, and that's it. And even if Kyrie doesn't shoot it or attack the basket, he's a good passer. And we've been on the show and we talked about Kyrie before. I've never knocked his basketball play.
Yeah.
I've never said he was a bad player. I've always said that, he just needs to shut his mouth and play basketball. And it's a good thing that he's in Dallas, because that media down there.
He's like that diva receiver. I think we talked about it last week, where he can only be good for so long.
Right.
He's good Kyrie now. He's on his best behavior.
and and what helps is what I think is that he doesn't have to carry the team.
Yeah.
Like whenever he's been forced to like be that man and carry the team, it's he takes that extra dribble, he takes that extra shot, and you're like, bro, just pass it, right? So it's like
that's true.
And
he's
now,
not a quarterback. He is a
no.
He is a number 2, and he's that great receiver that's with
right.
The quarterback is Luka, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and it's good that they finally understood that after being a year and a half together, not even that.
Yeah, and like that's the same thing with Brunson. The only difference with Brunson was that he made too many extra passes when he was with Dallas and Luka went out. Like he was just trying too much. He could have done what he's doing with the Knicks, but he was just trying too much. And this with Kyrie, you can tell how they're both of them feed off of Luka in different ways because they both of them have different basketball minds, but both of them are quick off the dribble and can beat most of the guys that they're going against. So, and then the thing with Dallas too is that we don't give enough credit to the rest of the starters besides Luka and Kyrie, and then their bench is kind of deep if you think about it. Like,
I was looking at their minutes. Their minutes are the players that played. Like this is just last night. I mean, you had a lot of people here for Dallas to play last night.
Right. And then the
6,
one
7,
thing,
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players played last night.
And then the one thing that some people are starting to mention, but people didn't talk about because they threw him under the bus, is that Jason Kidd is coaching these two men and trying to explain what he sees or what they could see on the court. Like, Jason Kidd was a couple games shy of making a championship run and winning a championship. Like, he's not somebody off the street, man. This is one of the best basketball handlers, basketball minds in college and in the NBA that just fell a little bit short.
Yeah.
And he's giving these guys some guidance and he's.
What do you think happened with Minnesota? Why did they play so bad?
I think
They're
on the
so
flip,
inconsistent.
I think on the flip side was that the guys that were not as young couldn't have didn't have enough stamina, man. I think I think it showed that the only one who
Conley ran out of gas.
Yeah.
35-year-old Conley or 36 or whatever.
Yeah. So I hate to say that, but I mention it always to you is like, these guys are over the age of 30 where you thinking they're going to go deep and look at the teams like the Suns and like all these guys, they might have a wealth of talent, but they're old, like the Clippers, the Suns. Like there's a reason those guys, the Warriors, there's a reason those teams aren't in. It's not because those great players can't play great. It's that those players can't play great and long games and long series.
Yeah.
Maybe if the NBA was like a 3, the best out of 3, right? It'll be different, but it's not. And
LeBron will win every year.
Yeah, like so
he won that in-season tournament. Something. Do you think possibly it was just the Denver series took too much out of them?
Right. So
yeah.
Again, and the only one that was the youngest guy there you saw was hungry, but he can't pick up the team if the team has no energy.
Yeah.
It wasn't
and
about.
You got to commend Jason Kidd for putting the right defenses at Edwards.
Right.
Where he was triple teamed sometimes.
Well, because
he was running right into the triple team by accident.
Right. So there's a flip side to what Dallas is doing because everybody has to double Luka. The flip side is that they're expending energy where they don't need to, and then Jason Kidd is like, hey, listen, like you don't have to play defense because you don't have to play tight defense on certain people because those guys are tired, right? Like you could just do one-on-one zone on some of these guys because they don't have any energy, man. You could, and you can see it the way they run up and down the court. And you see when they give them that space because they know that those guys are tired. They're gonna, they're just gonna run around the ball and try to make plays. And it was just relevant that the only guy that was ready to play in the series was Edwards, right? Yeah. It was like, give me the ball, like I'll carry the team. I can be Jordan, and it's like.
You're just wondering if Anthony Towns was taking those threes because he was too tired to drive in. You know,
I
at times, not
right.
the whole game, but
I think one of the things that he's never been one of those guys to be just crashing the hoop all the time. He has the ability to. I'm not sure if he was tired or it was a confidence thing where, like, you know, should I go in there and you know and get and make that move? I think it's more of a mental thing. Like, should, you know, like, it's possible, and I don't, you know, the way that they were playing is almost like they're trying to conserve themselves for a further run instead of like just pushing the gas and ending the games the way they should have ended. Like, there's some games where you're like, why did they take so many shots? They could just attack the basket, you know, like
they've got that size and you know, it
exactly.
Towns had one really good game, and that's the game they won, where he took most of his shots. He only took 5 threes in this game. Most of them were at the rim.
Right.
And it's just like he cannot stay consistent there. And Gobert is just a guy he's only a 12 to 14 point guy anyways.
You know, I would have liked to see Towns in San Antonio, because he could have fed off of Duncan and he could have got some guidance from Duncan.
Yeah.
He's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like that he has so much talent and opportunity, but he squanders it by just a lot of these guys. It's a different basketball game now. So it's like a lot of these guys are just running gun in and trying to shoot the threes, you know, like they're going to go in. And it's great that you have confidence shooting the three, but you have to have a method to it. I think you have to get, like you said, you have to get in a rhythm. You have to make sure that, you know, you're not just throwing up shots. And I don't think they did that. And Dallas didn't allow them. You know, we have to give credit to Dallas. As much as they were playing offense, they've been playing they were playing decent defense to keep them in the games.
They were communicating on defense, and Lively coming back really altered my pick towards the final. I mean, even if Porzingis comes back with him and Gafford out there and this Derek Jones guy, who is just, these guys are like glue guys. They don't really get the ink that a Luka or Kyrie would get, you know?
The two most important players for Boston is Tatum and Brown, and they need to make sure they average 24 to 20 to 30 points each. And they need to not just shoot threes. They need to control the inside and the outside as best as they can. And if those two don't get their brains out of their butts, they're going to get beat. And they're going to get beat by just simple basketball. Because Jason Kidd making the game easy for Luka and Kyrie. He makes it just easy. Like, you know, he's just like, look, just, you know, Kyrie, if you don't have it, just pass it, man. You know, like, don't go spending like 30 more extra seconds that you need to. And the same thing with Luka. Luka, like, you know, set it up. You see the double team, pass it to Kyrie, move the ball around. Like, he's pretty much telling them to keep it easy, keep it basic. And the defense is eating it up. Like, a McRib on in a fall day, man. Like, they need to just, Boston needs to be careful, because I've been telling you even though they've gotten to this point, I've told you the downfall for them will be if Kristaps plays and he hangs around the three and he allows the inside to be open for Luka or Kyrie to just attack the basket.
A lot of people think that if he plays, they're going to win. How are you going to throw a guy that hadn't played in like 3 weeks into a finals where Dallas is just, they're humming right now? And Luka's like a basketball savant. This dude must have been playing ball like out of the womb or something.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of. There was listen to this stat I read real quick. I saw this because I watched the replay of it again this morning or this afternoon.
He scored more points than LeBron in his first 3 seasons.
Well, what'd you say?
He scored more. He scored more points than LeBron in his first 3 seasons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now this also says that he averages 34.2 points per game after a loss. That's the best in NBA history. That's what TNT said last night. And he's like that quarterback that you can't give him the same defense the whole game.
Right.
You got to hide your defense. You got to hide the double team. You got to play some zone. You got to play some man. But you got to play 94 feet. Sometimes you got to double him at half court. Sometimes you don't.
Right.
You got to run plays at him to get him tired on defense.
I mean,
he's a tough guy to deal with, man. I've never seen anybody like him.
do you double him?
Well, you double him and then you pull off. You double him and you pull off. You want him fading away. He loves that fadeaway. You know, and I guess that whatever injury, he's just 25. But I feel like he's an old 25.
Because he's been playing. So he's been playing for a long time.
Yeah. I think he's been playing since he's like 14 and
15, 16. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just professionally. I mean, he's probably been playing since he's 4 or 5. He's a savant, man. And somebody was hassling him in Minnesota. He's flipping this guy off. And everybody thought he was flipping off Snoop Dogg. The guy was sitting beside Snoop Dogg. And it was really gassing him up. He had more points than all the whole Minnesota Timberwolves after the first quarter. I mean, he's something, man. I don't know if he's the best player. He's like 1A with Joker. I don't know. What's your thoughts about him? Where's his status at right now?
Look, I just want to let these guys play, man. Let them, finish the season. Who's gonna defend him, man? Who's gonna take him out of this game? And
Tatum can defend.
Yeah, and Tatum's long, but the thing is that if you're gonna have Tatum play Luka, this is what's gonna happen. Tatum's gonna get tired, and when it comes down to the third and fourth, when he needs to be stepping it up, he's not gonna have that extra gear. He's gonna waste it on defense. Not waste, but he's gonna like use it all up on defense. And do you want him to do that? I mean, the thing is that Tatum and Brown are still not consistent anyways. They've been going through this whole playoffs.
They got a pretty deep bench. They're gonna have to throw different bodies at him.
They've gone, everybody's talking about the road to the finals was so easy for them. I
wanted to ask you about that. Is that going to alter their play? Now, mind you, Jimmy Butler, let's go back to the first round. No Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
No Jared Allen for Cleveland. Who was that other guy?
Mitchell.
Halliburton. He was out for 2 games.
Oh, Mitchell didn't play either.
Mitchell got hurt towards the very end.
Right.
So I mean, they were really just kind of cruising this year, but it is what it is. It's a luck of the draw. They didn't have Porzingis for a while, but they're a pretty deep team. Are they ready for that? Now, they did beat Dallas twice in the regular season, but so did Minnesota. I mean, so Dallas is just playing at that level right now. Like the year they won the championship with Dirk Nowitzki, where they're rebounding and playing defense, and they're not used to doing neither one.
Well, I mean, I saw the Knicks beat up on Boston twice within a month. Yeah. And that was with Al Randall.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to put the Boston Celtics down. We called it, before the playoffs started, that they'd probably beat Boston and Dallas. I
thought maybe Denver. I thought Denver and they would probably get past everybody. Then I thought maybe Minnesota, but Dallas. I mean, 5 games. They went 6 games with the 1 seed Oklahoma City. They're more battle tested. Their depth is there.
Robert, you know what this feels like? Remember when we were watching Pierce, and everybody's like, "Well, is he the truth? Like, is he going to be able to carry Boston?" Yeah, and we're like, well, I don't know. He needs more people on the team. He needs more help. Yeah, and now he got a little bit. Then they gave him a little bit of help, and then you're like, okay, so this, he is.
Yeah, he got Allen and KG, and then it was on.
Right. So
this kind of feels like that. Yeah.
Where everybody's like, oh, is Luka really a top-rated player? Does he deserve to be MVP? And now he got Kyrie on the side, and everybody's like, well,
he's on the verge of becoming the Finals MVP. Me personally, man, from a personal standpoint, I don't want to see Dallas win because I don't like Kyrie. I still think Kyrie's the guy who pushed himself off Boston, pushed himself out of Cleveland. Who else did he quit on? Pushed himself out of Brooklyn.
But that's still
do you think he's grown up, or you think he's just being on his best behavior for right now?
Yeah, I mean, but that's the MO of every basketball player. Like, you want to throw him on that bus, you better throw him on the same bus as Harden as Durant, as
not Durant as much as Harden and Kyrie has been like a cancer to teams.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
he's off the field, man. I mean, off the court, looking for reasons not to play. You know,
what's this guy's name? Why can't I remember his name? He played with Harden and Durant.
Westbrook.
Like they all to a point are like quit on
Westbrook never quits on people.
I mean, he don't help the team win.
No, he's a cancer too.
You know what I'm saying? You forced to play him because of the contracts. You really forced to start.
Honor your teammates in contract at least. And
it's like
Corey, my friend Corey watches the program. He knows how he quit on Boston the year he was traded there. But that being said, my head says Dallas, even though they're underdogs according to FanDuel, I think Dallas is going to win this thing in 6 personally, even if they get back Porzingis. What are your thoughts on the finals themselves?
Yeah, I think this probably go 6 games, and I think
hard Dallas, 6 games too.
Yeah, and I think Dallas will end up winning because they have a little bit of hidden talent in some of the guys that they picked up.
Yeah.
And they didn't, even though they've had a harder route, they're gonna find it easy to play against Boston because Boston's got to catch. Look, this is what I'm gonna say. If Dallas can play a style, and it's the way they want to win, then there's no way Boston can step up to that level because they haven't played anybody. They haven't played anybody hard, and they didn't have to step out of their shell. Like you saw when they were down, they would just start shooting threes and hoping to make it. And you can't do that. You can't do that with Dallas. So if Boston goes out there, takes the game away, controls the game, forces Dallas to not play their game, Boston will, as much as they might win 1 or 2 games, they're not deep enough, man. They're really not. And the 2 guys that I mentioned, they're too inconsistent. Like if Tatum, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just and Pickles mentioned something that's very critical. Boston has a difficulty in playing defense in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah. Pickles said that earlier, and that is true. And they want to shoot themselves out of things. Yeah. I will say this: after they lost that home game to Cleveland, they did become more aggressive, get the ball inside more. But that being said, that's when everybody else started having injuries too. Everything points towards Dallas winning this thing, not unless Luka's injury re-aggravates or something like that, or Lively goes back down again.
I mean,
but even with Porzingis, I don't see Horford's going to sit back there and take threes all day. That's what he does.
And then
he's their Karl Anthony Towns.
I just want to see Tatum and Brown just outplay their contract, outplay their opponents, and be those players that they can be.
Yeah.
And score. Man, if they could both score 35 points each, bro.
Yeah.
And they can. The problem is they can.
Well, you got Derek White who can score, and
right.
He's got the speed to get around people. They've got some players. Drew Holiday.
You know what? This is such an NBA East team, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Philadelphia does the same thing. They sign these guys, and if Tobias could just give me 25 points, it's like, no, man, he ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, I gave up on.
Yeah, no, you pay too much too fast. So that's what the Eastern teams do. They got these guys. If I could just get 24 points from this player, and
I think they've got the talent to do it, but I don't know if they got that dog in them.
That's what I'm saying, man. You paying these guys, and you Tatum and Brown can be Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Theoretically, they could.
They need a Phil Jackson to coach them.
No, they need to play hard. They need to play
or by Pat Riley or for say.
I don't think it's the coach that has to motivate them. Bro, you're better than 6 of the players on the court that are around you on your team in the next step.
They're frustrating. Are they if they lose again? Now they're still pretty young and they've got big contracts, but loan contracts. Are they going to become the Atlanta Braves before '95? Are they the Buffalo Bills? Will they
mean,
get to the finals and don't do nothing?
I don't look, man, Rob. Remember
Or even the Knicks of the '90s, for that matter. They got the 2 finals in the '90s. The Knicks did.
I have a question. Did you ever get a chance to play with Trent Hassel or what's his name?
No, he came in there just before we left. They left before we got there.
No, I was there before you.
Was you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to. Did you play with Sean Marion at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't play with him. I covered him for the team, for the paper.
All right. So
I remember Sean Marion.
Remember,
No. Sean Marion that went to Phoenix. No.
Okay.
I was thinking of another guy.
No. So
No, that guy I never did see him play.
Yeah. So we would play
Did
around.
You play with them?
Yeah. I played with a few. Yeah, I played a few times with them both. So
yeah, he was good, man.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You knew, like, if I had the ball, I knew to give them the ball because they were going to do something with it. Right. I can shoot threes all day. That was my thing. I spot up and shoot. I don't care. But, if I have to take 5 shots and only make 3 threes, why can't I just give him the ball and have him dunk it? Because that's
you went to high school with those guys.
No. We played in at the rec center. That was.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So
Sean Marion was.
But
man, how many years he play in the NBA? About 10.
I don't remember. But
you played for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. You feed those guys because those guys are they have the talent.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't see that from Tatum and you don't see that from Brown. They just dribbling inside, dribbling outside. And you're like, you like if you just stop dribbling and look around you, just take the ball to the back. Like you're better than, like I'm saying, like if I was a coach and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know what these guys are doing. Like they're better than the people around them. Just use your talent, use your abilities. And that's the thing for me. Like they might have basketball brains and they might have basketball abilities, but they're not using it. And that's what I see with Boston. And I like if they don't get consistent.
Tatum's going to have to play way over his head, and he's going to have to get the ball to the rim more often than not.
I mean,
and he's got the talent. I've seen him play well in spurts.
It's just so frustrating. I'm not a Boston fan.
Yeah.
And when you see those 2 guys taking the ball and they're just trying to shoot a 3, and you're like, no. Like they
shoot a 3 when nobody's at the rim.
Right. You're like 2. You got like
take it to the rack,
You can beat those guys off the dribble. You got the speed and the talent. Just to tackle.
Colin Coward says they're a less confident Golden State. I said, yeah, they are.
That's a good.
Really, they don't shoot the 3 ball as good as Golden State.
That's a good kind of analysis. Like
yeah. But they led the league in attempts, and that's what frustrated me about Boston all year.
It's like we're not
67 wins, man. I mean,
we're not even Celtic fanboys.
This is their year,
Like I'm a New Yorker. Like I'm like, yeah, let's go Knicks, and I'm like watching Boston. I'm like, oh, they got a lot of talent.
Right.
And then I see they got Porzingis, and I'm like, I don't know why they did that, but anyways, like
I think the only thing they can do is just get a better coach now.
It's not coaching though. It's not. It's just you see what you play what you see.
They got a better coaching staff, but the head coach, Missoula's still the head coach.
Do you think Missoula's sitting there saying, go ahead and shoot 3-pointers? Do you think he will honestly say that?
I think he's pretty passive, and he's good at drawing up plays, but he's not like now Van Gundy's supposed to be an advisor, but he's just an advisor, Jeff Van Gundy. And then they've got Sam Cassell, who gets in players' rear ends.
Yeah, I see that a lot. And
yeah.
I wish he was playing. Dang, man. Like
maybe I don't know.
Put a jersey on him.
Maybe they do. Maybe they find a way to beat Dallas. Like I said, I don't care for Kyrie. I'd kind of like to see if Luka can win this, that would put him in another category. Get a championship in 25, man. Maybe that it's not his only one. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm feeling that the Luka and Tatum against each other is like Bird and Johnson.
Well, that's true. That's true because they're about the same age.
And I feel like Luka is the underrated Larry Bird. Because he's don't look like he's fast. He don't look like he jumps high enough. He don't like. But then Larry Bird would be out there like shooting, jumping, defending. Like
he's
Larry
big
Bird,
and he's got that center number 77. Where did he come up with that? It's
So
like a football number.
And you see
and he's like a football player too.
Yeah, and then you see Tatum like a young Magic Johnson. He can attack, he can make a pass, he can shoot. Yeah. But the thing about Magic, I'm not taking nothing away from Magic, but he did have some talented players and shooters around him. Right?
Yeah. He ain't quite Magic could pass it through anything. I mean, the bounce pass but he's a pretty good passer. And by the way, Luka's probably a better passer than Bird, even though Bird may have had a stronger arm, but Luka could just draw the double team, throw a laser beam.
It's just
right up under the basket.
I'm not trying to compare them in a sense where talent for talent, but I'm comparing them in a sense where the two mainstays of their team, right? The two main players of the team, and what are they going to do?
That's a good analogy, though. Magic, Bird, yeah.
Like, what are they going to
quite 100%? But
no. I mean, talent level, speed, and everything is a different game. I understand that, but to me, I'm watching this NBA. I know it's different. I get frustrated, but what are these guys going to do? I'm ready for Tatum to just be like, bam, a 40-point game, 60-point game, but that don't come out. And then I want Brown to have 20, 30 points. And then that doesn't happen. I mean, and it's just you're just you see it on the screen and you're like, you take it back. Nope.
I'm still surprised they're favorite. I guess they got the home court, but I just don't see why they're favored. Maybe for Andre that came on the show before, Corey and my Boston fans, good luck. And by the way, kudos to this guy, Nico Harrison, this general manager, is former Nike executive. Dallas got a lot of criticism because he's a former Nike guy, didn't have a lot of management experience, but he has been killed. He picked up what's that guy's name? Is it Jefferson or PJ Washington? Washington from Charlotte,
right.
And Gafford from Washington, and last year really rolled the dice and brought in Kyrie, but nobody wanted Kyrie,
right?
And I don't blame anybody for not wanting, but he did roll the dice and bring Kyrie. You start adding all this, and he drafted Derek Lively, who is just a rookie,
right? So
pick overall. This guy's really on a roll right now as a general manager.
You have to people make it seem like they don't have to watch basketball. They don't have to be, watching film. If you're going to sign a huge Nike contract, if you're going to give a huge Nike contract to a player, you better do your homework.
Your deal with Charlotte.
You better, and these guys know these guys have seen these players so much. They've seen them play in high school. They've seen them play in college. They've seen them play on the streets. They've seen them play on the AAU tournaments. You're not gonna. This guy's coming from the sneaker shoe company, but this sneaker shoe company takes sports for real. They're very serious about what they do, and we're fans and in the media. They talk about, why did they use this agent to be a general manager? Why? Because these guys know these players. These guys.
Yeah, that's Pelinka's doing a decent job with the Lakers. Although
they got to research these guys.
Jenny Buss is a little bit out there.
They know. They have probably just as much knowledge. Yeah. Agents and shoe shoe people have just as much knowledge or even more than some of these coaches who are in the NBA. And look, I mean, this guy, he's doing his due diligence. I'm just shocked that he was able to pick up some guys and some of these contracts are crazy. But
I mean, Lively looks like he's been in there 4 or 5 years. He doesn't even look like a rookie out there. I mean, he's young looking, but he's playing at a high level and he's playing with a high basketball. You got to get that timing down.
Yeah,
he's got it down.
Do you remember when Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and they got Ron Harper and everybody's like, well, he's a journeyman. He don't.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do? But he don't have to do much. He just got to play his role and play it 100% and play defense. Lively doesn't have to carry the team. He doesn't have to worry about things. He just got to be on the court and do his job to the best that he can. And look, you get results because you got those players taking all that stress away, right? You have Luka, he's gonna take two people, always double team. Then you could give it off to Kyrie. Kyrie will get man to man, and then a double team coming off a switch.
Yeah.
And then you're lively, and you're looking there like, just give me the ball, bro. I can.
Washington, even Tim Hardaway Jr., which he's just a throwaway player at this point. But you got PJ Washington getting those minutes now.
Yeah.
They got depth. Like you said, I mean, they got a lot of depth. And I've started looking at these box scores. When you start going 10 deep, and some guys are only playing like 7 or 8 minutes, but that's 7 or 8 minutes, you know.
But they play,
every minute counts.
There you go.
In the playoffs.
And that's exactly
it's so intense.
That's the exact point that a lot of these coaches want out of their players. Make your minutes count, right?
Yeah.
So and then you can be more.
Kid's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. You were a big Bill Walton fan. I was a big Bill Walton fan. What's your fondest memories of the late, great Bill Walton, who passed away on Monday, unfortunately? I know you posted about him earlier.
Yeah, one of the funniest things I've seen, because as he got older, he did get a little wackier and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the last times I've seen him, because he was on Shark Tank with one of the
Mark Cuban and them.
Yeah, and he was just going back and forth, and he's just like, I'm not just an athlete, I'm a person too, and sometimes people forget that, man. And he was so like humbled and like always approachable, like to a lot of other people. And that's important, man. Like, even because sometimes you hear some of these players that are not, and you're like, man, like, what's wrong with you? Like, like,
yeah.
He had
a good sense of humor. Me and you kind of, when we first met in college, it was like his first year or second year, I think, in the NBA as an announcer.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know if you listened to my show on Tuesday, I played him and Mike Breen back in 2003. And in a nice, goofy, but funny, yet serious Bill Walton type of way, he's calling out players left and right,
Like we
somebody should tell Chris Webber the game started at noon, okay?
we understand that those little nuances, because we're from a different time as well. Like, basketball was different then, right?
Yeah.
And he was
hustled on defense in our day,
Yeah. He was straight to the point, and people who listen to it now think it's mean and kind of like too much.
You think that's what drove them the way? Because he only did 10 years, and then they put him down in Arizona somewhere and do college.
Right.
It's like they didn't want this pampering Lee didn't want to hear that criticism. I thought he was great though.
Right. No. Oh yeah. Like,
man.
He learned from the coach of basketball, and John Wooden. Wooden was tough on all his players, even on the administrators before he even got college players. Like, he was tough on everybody. And this people can only take so much of that though, Robert. Like, we in different times, man. And that was changing, and sometimes you say things and people be offended and take it the wrong way. But we look in the humor of all the bad and negative things instead of just taking it to heart, right? So
yeah, I wouldn't have got so ESPN on Sports Center. That was an early game. It was that Chris Webber, if they were playing like the Nets or somebody, Walton says, "Tell Chris Webber the game started." So somebody calls Chris Webber in the locker room. This is in 2002. So he comes out and balls out the second half, And so it's like, hey, man, yeah, Bill Walton's saying, I'm not ready to play, and the game started. You've been out hanging out in New York City, and you're not bleeping off, and then you're not ready to play. And
speaking of Webber, I saw a picture of Webber, Miller, and
Reggie Miller?
No, Mike Miller.
Mike Miller. Oh yeah.
And
white chocolate, I think that's what they called it.
And what's his name? Oh God,
Vlade Divac.
Vlade.
Oh, I love Vlade. Yeah.
Vlade Divac. And I swear, Vlade Divac looked younger than all those cats. Like,
smoking cigarettes and stuff. That's what he said. He smoked or Marlboros.
And people used to be like, oh no, he lied about his age. He might have been like 17, 18 instead of 22 or something. And I'm like, whatever it is, like he looks good for his age. I'm gonna send you the picture and you look at it. I was like, man, this guy, and he must be taking good care of himself though. But
yeah,
it's crazy how
what's your favorite aspect of I know he talked a lot about, and I played that the other day, where he talked about John Wooden advice.
Mm-hmm.
Be quick, but don't hurry.
Right.
Isn't that good advice through life? Not just basketball. Well, basketball, obviously, you don't want to turn the ball over.
Right.
Bounce the ball for you because you're playing too much in a hurry or turning the ball over.
And what I think he learned from his coaching and playing and all that, like I like that he didn't make excuses. It's like he learned not to make excuses, and he could have been an even better and great player, and he had bad knees
and bad feet
and he didn't he just knew he had issues. He didn't make it bigger than what it was. He moved on from the game. The game gave him everything that he needed to move himself forward and other things. And, what a wonderful life this guy led. Not like being in the situation
like Lou Gehrig, the most luckiest man on the
right.
Yeah.
If you think
you
about
always do your PSAs, folks, at 50, we got some years, but we're not too far away. Got to get that prostate checked out, brother.
we closer to Bill Walton than we are to the Edwards. So
yeah, that's true. And I'd much rather be closer to Edwards. In my mind, I'm still closer to Edwards.
I mean, look,
my body's closer to Walton with this. I've walked so much, plantar fasciitis.
I think one of the things that, and so I was talking to this, not about sports, but just a little bit about life. I was talking to my wife's uncle. We were walking down the street because I was like, "Hey, where you going? You retired, man? Chill out." And he's an older man, and he was like, me, I'm always on the move. I was like, yeah, but sometimes you just got to enjoy the fresh air and, and just, take it easy. And he's like, I saw you got your whole retired life in front of me. He's like, yeah, but, I'm feeling more my age. And I was like, you might feel one way, but you got to play it like you in the other way. Right.
Well, you have to stay some type of busy.
Right.
People that retire and don't do nothing die sooner than ones that have some kind of activity going, or people that just don't want to retire until much later in life. I believe that because I've just worked with security for years.
You laying out a sermon for LeBron James? Is that what you're doing?
I just think Bill Walton as a player, knowing his history with the Blazers, he won 6th Man of the Year late in his career with the Celtics. He would have been great for this era. With guys, can you imagine him and Luka playing together? Throwing the ball all over the place, so efficient passing.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because it probably would have meshed better playing together because of the European.
It's all about team with Walton.
Yeah, and the European style that Luka came from and played with. So
yeah,
I just everybody got their own life, and we just hope that we can make it live longer than others. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's true. Okay. Boy, I don't know if the Bear fans want this Hard Knocks thing. I mean, how much more pressure do you want to add on to Caleb Williams? I don't. Robert, did you ever hear of this guy on Instagram and TikTok that he claims he's from the future? Have you heard of him? Marty McFly?
No.
Doc? No, I'm kidding.
No, but this guy, I'm gonna send you his TikTok, and let's make our predictions with him in the middle, right? That'd be the third guy because he's from the future, so he stayed in.
What is he saying? Does he make
saying that the Bears are gonna be in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's hard to
Well, they've got good players. Have you seen a player as a rookie come into a better situation than Caleb Williams has, considering the players that the Bears have built up around him?
Right. So, and you're saying that, but you know all the chit chatter that's coming out of the camp saying that he's being outplayed and all this stuff. Like,
really? I saw one highlight. He looked pretty good. He hit Rome Odunze, fellow rookie. But that was just this. We're in mini camp. We're not even playing defense yet.
I don't know.
It's pads and shorts, Who
was one guy I think had a pretty decent group around him was Andrew Luck. He had a great defense.
Decent defense. The Colts are never great.
Well, he had a decent defense, and then he had the secondary was actually pretty good on that Colts team.
Yeah, they're quick.
And then he had a few players, that he could.
That's a good point. That's a good one, Pickles. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
94 Niners were ready.
Yeah.
And remember, Montana went up the year before he goes to Kansas City. Yeah, that's a good point. Other than that, I mean, modern day, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, above average offensive line. The defense has got starters everywhere. Tremaine Williams. They've who they got? Montez Sweat. They re-signed Jalen Johnson, the cornerback there.
Well, the team sounds better than the Jets team, and they're thinking the Jets.
The Jets got a lot of pass rushers, but they are a little old there, and they've got a star corner there. There's skill players though around him. I would want to have him put on Hard Knocks. It does seem like there's just a little bit of distraction there.
Yeah,
you want to put a rookie on Hard Knocks that's supposed to be your starter from day one?
It's a lot of.
Thinks he's going to fold like a cheap suit.
It's good for Chicago. It's good for the media there, but I don't know if it's good for the team. I'm with you. Like, I don't, what has Hard Knocks ever done anything for any team?
That is true.
So
I don't remember any of these teams going to the playoffs. I really don't. Now, they do have in-season Hard Knocks, which is a little different.
Right.
And Eberflus is a defensive-minded head coach. I think Tennessee, I went on and defended the Titans and broke that article down. I found the article where the guy trashes the Titans. Carlos.
I mean, everybody's trashing the Titans right now.
2-15. I'm like, okay, come on, dude. And but I think they're going to beat the Bears in week 1 because so much pressure is going to be on the Bears to play well so early out of a rookie. And the Titans have a second-year quarterback with an offensive-minded head coach. And Titans are pretty close to them receiving core with DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and, of course, Burks. I'm hearing he's having a really good, air quote, mini camp. Calvin Ridley said, man, that guy looks like A.J. Brown out there. He's a young Julio. Well, we'll see how that plays out.
Right.
He might look like that around DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley. So that's going to be an interesting game. That's one of the more interesting games. Who would have thought that the freaking Cowboy or the Bears and the Titans would be an interesting game in week 1?
Yeah, if I'm the Titans, I'd be if I'm one of the coaches, I'll just be sending some tapes, some of the quarterbacks' tapes to the opposing team to distract them. But
Henry Ruggs working at the governor's office in Nevada. Yeah, Ruggs, he's still doing his time for that that crash there, that deadly crash. I still go out on a limb. I think he'll get his way back in the league. He'll be close to 30, but I think he'll find his way. Somebody will give him a shot.
I mean,
but
no, I mean, he's very talented.
But there's a lot of players that's done crazy stuff that's got put back in the league, man.
Antonio Brown.
Leonard Little killed a person. Who else was it? There's a guy that used to play for the Patriots, got back in the league. He used to play for the Vols. Very good. So was it Stallworth? Stallworth. I mean, Michael Vick. I mean, he killed his dog killing. He did 18 months. Got another $100 million contract.
I think he got more in trouble for having people do those things than him. Like,
Yeah, but people love dogs in this. You know how it is. That was pretty bad. But he did his time. He was apologetic. But anyways, now Caleb though,
Excuse me.
I'm just I don't know if he's going. He could win Rookie of the Year. He's got the players around him to win. And by the way, Mark Sanchez, he did pretty good he had a pretty good team around him with the Jets. I don't think it was good as this one on paper, skill wise. You remember that year they went? I think they went to like the AFC Championship.
Yeah, he took Brett Favre left, so he took.
Yeah.
They had 8.
I think they had like Lavernius Coles on that team. I can't remember.
No, they didn't have Coles then. They had
the guy that used to play with Michigan that was really good. And he played with Cleveland. I can't remember his name now. I think it was 2009, wasn't it? That they went his rookie year.
Yeah. 2009, 2000. Yeah. 2000.
Yeah. And then the longer he stayed with Rex Ryan.
He had Boogie Shaw Ferguson. He had Mangold in front of him. He had two.
He had a very good center. Yeah.
They had two very good linemen on that team to help him stay up. They had a decent
Ferguson
and
Alan Faneca. Yeah, they had a good team, man.
And they had a good defense too.
Kevin Clemens. Wait a minute. It might have been 2010, Chief. Let me look at that. Because that could be similar to the problem is this is a very good division. The NFC North, the Lions are good. The Packers are going to be good. Minnesota is sneaky good. Braylon Edwards, who I was thinking about.
Braylon Edwards.
Nick Mangold, like you said, Jericho Cottree, Damon Woody. LaDainian Tomlinson, he was on the back end of his career.
LT, yeah.
Thomas Jones. What a pretty good running guy. I tell you who was good, though. Sean Green, rookie running back on that team. Got all the way. The AFC Championship. I think they got 2 AFC Championships.
Sean Green, was he Iowa State Cyclones?
Iowa, actually.
Iowa.
Had a really big game against the Chargers in the playoffs that year. Yeah, went on the road and beat them, and really ticked off those Charger fans.
The Jets lost that game by a field goal by the Patriots, right? They lost to the Patriots.
Yeah, I think it was either the Patriots or one year they beat the Patriots, and then the Steelers knocked them out.
It might have been the Steelers.
And then the next year, I think the Patriots beat them the year before that, actually. Dustin Keller, they had a decent squad there. And, of course, they had your guy, Darrell Revis Island there at corner. How ironic. So, Jalen Johnson with the Bears. Bears going to be interesting. I can't believe they're 4.5-point favorites against the Titans. I'll take the Titans in plus 4.5.
I will guarantee you will watch some craziness if you watch that show, because I don't see that being any good for the Bears at all. Like, I just don't. Maybe just to shine a light on their team before they get a new stadium or something. But
yeah, there have been talks that they may get a dome. They need a dome as windy as it gets up there. The Browns need a dome. Browns have at least one game where they've got 70 or 80 mile per hour winds in the middle of the wintertime.
It's cold over there. You got a headache.
They got some crazy weather off that lake, man.
That's crazy.
But anyways, that's all food for thought, man. I thought that was kind of a bad run there for them. I would maybe put it with New England or somebody who has no expectations of doing anything. Maybe feature Drake May on there or something.
I mean, who would like? You're spitting all these teams, but there's so much mediocreness. There's so much it's mediocre, and there's a lot of parity.
I kind of wish they'd put it on a really good team like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nah, maybe like the 49ers or the Dolphins. The Dolphins are gonna struggle now.
Well, they had the end season last year.
Oh, then
they had it. So you got 2 of them now. You got the one preseason going up to week 1, which this one I read, which I'm probably going to end up ordering HBO again. is they go back to before the draft and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then they're going to lead all the way up to week 1. Then you have the in-season one that starts about November, which is supposed to be, which it has been good. It was good with the Colts. It was good with Arizona. Both of them had a total Titanic type of fall off towards the end.
So like
and the coaches got fired.
Had a fall
but it
off.
was good TV, though. It was good TV.
Because weren't the Jets on it for the first few weeks?
The Jets were on. I think the Jets were on. I know they were on one with Rex Ryan, where they're eating hot dogs in practice. And
no. The one with Aaron Rodgers. Was that?
Oh, they've been on 2 of them. Yeah, they were on last year. Man, you know something? Yeah. Hard Knocks is. I'm glad the Titans ain't get hot. That's just bad luck, dude.
It's just bad. I mean,
it's like getting on the cover of Madden. You just throw your season away if you're going to put you on the cover of Madden. Now that you mention it.
Nah, you don't want to. Oh, the Jags? Not a bad idea. I like that, Pickles. The Jags.
The Ravens.
Oh,
the Ravens won the Super Bowl, got put on Hard Knocks. They totally tanked.
I wouldn't mind this team. Or even the Texans, because, they had that great season last year to see how they could do this year, Like, you want to put it on a team that has a possibility of, like,
on the come up.
Yeah, on the up, right.
Well, Detroit, the first year with Dan, whatchamacallit, the coach there of the Lions, he really started to grow on me. And he was showing them hitting, like, first day in practice, they had full pads on, And he's saying, listen, guys, studies say that you'll be less injury prone as the season goes along if we start hitting from day one. And pretty much a couple years later, they're in the NFC Championship game. And I still think they'll probably make the Super Bowl this year.
Nah.
It's not my final pick, but as of right now, I think the Lions will go with the NFC. AFC, I'm not so sure about. It's not going to be Kansas City. I know that.
You like that quarterback then?
Who?
In Detroit?
Yeah. He just signed an extension. That
don't mean nothing. There's a lot of QBs signed
a few weeks back. I mean, I'm saying the Lions like him.
Watson got the best deal a quarterback could get. Where did Cleveland go?
Well, he didn't take them to the AFC Championship game. But I endorse the fact that the Browns took a chance on a quarterback. Hadn't you noticed that they made the playoffs last? You know why? Because free agents are saying, okay, the owner gives a crap here.
Yeah.
And he's putting his money everywhere. We're going to go take a chance and go to the freaking Cleveland Browns. So Browns are going to be creepily they're going to be creeping up on people because of what's his name? Jerry Jeudy with Amari Cooper. I don't know. I think that's going to be a sneaky good team there. But I don't know because they got rid of their offensive line coach and their offensive coordinator went elsewhere, I think.
I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of that quarterback. I think he's pedestrian at most. He has a rifle of an arm, but
who's that?
Goff.
Oh yeah, he's decent, man. He's good in he's good in pressure, and he's got a really good line around him. I mean, they were a few throws away from there last year,
and he didn't make them. So why would you sign him?
Well, not really him not making. I blame the coach for. They should have went for that field goal. That was a 10-point turnaround, if you remember that.
Listen to what you're saying. So you have one of the best quarterbacks. You say he's one of the best quarterbacks using his arm, but you instead would go with the field goal to win the game, but you didn't anyway.
To go up 17.
But you didn't.
Let's not get crazy here.
Come on,
we're running out of time, Chief. Anything you need to plug?
Right now, I'm right now working on trying to get some people on this with the forkball. I've been working, man. It's been tough this last few weeks. I had my nephews and nieces graduating and stuff, so I was out of town, and I was in Nashville for a minute, and then then I was in South Carolina. I mean, I've been everywhere except for on the podcast. So I need to get situated, be on a podcast, and spread my joy, Ron.
Yeah. They don't need to leave points. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. We're right there towards the end of the hour.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Enjoy your
Friday.
sports, peoples.
I will see you next week.